All right, guys, this is Eric, the OBX Picker. Have a little bit different type of video today. I'm going to be showing you my soy pod. If you guys don't know what that is, Froggy Flips, I don't know whether you have watched his channel or not. If not, you should. I'll put a link to his channel in my video today as well. But soy pod is show us your pile of death. And Froggy Flips had put out, during this time that we were all kind of stuck and not able to source like normal. I know there is still limited sourcing opportunities. Some people have more, some people have less. But for us, obviously a source that most of us do have is that dreaded pile of death or pile of opportunity or a live pile or whatever you want to call it. But for us, that thing seems to take on a life of its own. I know for mine, I continue to watch it grow. So what I am looking at doing, obviously I'm going to shoot this pile of death video today, soy pod, and put that out. But also what I'm looking to do is personally challenge myself over the next 30 days. It looks like we'll be locked down at least that long. I want to put that pile of death to death. To work on getting that thing listed up and, limiting my, my pile of death down to a small amount where it turns less of being a pile and maybe like a little anthill of death. So what I'm going to be doing is documenting every day how many items I've got listed, how many items sold out of my pile of death from the listings that I've done. And just trying to keep track of that, maybe a little extra motivation for everyone to work on that. I know all of us can get caught up with what's going on, and if you watch tons of the news, you can get downright depressed about what's going on in our nation. But for us as resellers, we do have an opportunity now. I know a lot of people are saying they're not seeing as great as sales. I know for me, my sales have been good. For the most part, I've had a couple of low days, but for me, I've sold through a lot of my media, a lot of video games and stuff that I have, puzzles, board games, that kind of stuff. But there is still a slow trickle of other sales that are coming through. And I think some of it too is, like a lot of y'all have said in the past, what you list has an immediate effect on what you sell. Selling right now online is obviously a lot of people are more comfortable doing that than they are going out in the public. So even if it's things that you don't consider to be essential, like, I've sold some toys and collectibles and, other things that are still selling in spite of what's going on. So I'm going to do that next 30 days. I'm going to have you guys here to hold me accountable to that. But at this point, I'm going to go show you what I got to work with prior to getting into the actual pile of death. I have some piled in this room that I'm sitting in right now that I've got to work towards getting listed. And that's kind of where I'm starting today, is what I have in here, and then I'm going to be working out. So I'll shoot the rest of the video, show you what I have, and then we will start today tracking what I've listed out of my pile of death and what actually sold. And I actually do have a little bit of an advantage because I've recently made a couple purchases that are in that pile that I haven't listed yet. But I do want to kind of show you my journey. So here we go. Shot that most of you are used to seeing is my shelf with Inaman and some of these other things up here. All of those things are listed actually outside of, I've never really showed you guys this. I'll take one time and show you this stuff in the back and these like figurines. I actually go to India every year. I have a friend of mine who runs an orphanage over there, and I usually go stay with those guys and work in the orphanage and do some training with some pastors and stuff over there. But that's what I do. And then the rest of the oddball stuff you see up here is listed, like Pooh and this hat from the fleet, this shell elephant, the cow from the farmer's market, and that hat I'm actually holding on for my brother-in-law. And then if you just kind of look around the room, I know it's hard to see, but this is stuff I have listed. These couple shelves, this shelf, and my media shelf. And then over here is kind of like my workstation that I do most of my stuff. So all those hats right there, I'll be listing today, as well as those action figures in the back. Trains is what I'm working on. There's my little stand where I shoot, shipping area. This here is Pile of Death stuff. I did make a recent Facebook purchase with some Xbox stuff. So that's got to be listed. And then we have in the closet as well, this whole box of like video games slash other oddball things. Some of those I have tested, and I'm gonna have to list up its parts. And then everything in here is listed except for some of these t-shirts. I do have to work on that. Mostly in here is clothing, shoes, hats in the corner, gloves, just oddball stuff, bigger things. There's some Lego stuff down there. So that's what I have. So in here I have one tote. This little bit that's in the bottom of this tote is all knives. That has to be listed. This box of stuff, industrial stainless steel cleaner. And then these items. So all of those are things that need to be listed. And then we go to the mega stuff. So as we go into this other room, this is not just the pile of death, but the room of death. This first container is full of Xbox 360s. I actually have only found 2 in there that work. So the rest of them are either Ring of Death or they've got other issues. So I'm looking to part those things out. There's some oddball video game stuff in here. Where this came from is I did have an antique booth. That antique store that I was in has closed. They're in the process of closing, so I have to get all my stuff out there, which creates more of a pile for me. I do have some other things. Some of this is decent stuff too, like well, that's a baseball bag. I've got these adult undergarments from the recent estate sale I went to. Sunbeam, a mixer with the bowl and all that stuff. In here I've actually got some LeBrons that need to be listed. A fishing pole, that's a pin fishing pole. Pin reel, it's a 9/0. There's a box of Legos there that needs to be cleaned out. And then here we have a DVD TiVo, a couple slot car tracks that are just pieces that need to be done. The albums down there are actually listed, but I was trying to sell them in the antique booth and that didn't work out. And then in here we have, in this box, I got some DC shoes, a pendant needs to be listed, some Sega Genesis have to be tested. I've been waiting on some parts to come in on those. Like I said, I did have a recent video game purchase, which has helped. Another Xbox One, or original, not one. And then oddball stuff, like there's Thomas stuff here. This suitcase is full of video games that'll be listed in the next little bit. In here, there's another Xbox 360 that needs to be tested. There is, gosh, who knows what's all in here. I think that's a DVD unit, needs to be tested. Random boot. This came from an estate sale. There's 2 of them. Some Boy Scout uniform stuff needs to be tested. This is actually an old t-shirt. Let's see what this is. It's from Bamberg, Germany. Single stitch though, but it's got some stain issues. That's probably going to go to the donation bin. This is random video game stuff. Some vintage fishing reels. Underneath it, these are actually Harley shirts that I picked up recently. More video game stuff. That little gray box is a recorder. In here, got some Jordans. These aren't super valuable. The black Jordans over there need to be trashed. They actually have breakage on the bottom. Knife set. Random video game cords. More random video game stuff, books. I don't think there's anything in that box. Let's see, those are boxes. There's some random boots in here. I feel like that's like a mug or something in there. So that's what I got in here outside of, let's see if there's anything else in the closet. And some old VHSs I've got for free. Some speakers. Yeah, random stuff. There's an old laptop and there's vests. All them things are listed that are back in there. Most of this is listed that's in the back, outside of some personal stuff and boxes. Random things. So everything in here needs to get listed for the most part. So got to get this thing cleaned out. But wait, this is the part that gets me in trouble, because this is actually in our living area and it's got to go. It's got to get out of here. So this stuff is random cords, totes, there's random stuff in these boxes, some Wii stuff. This is just a random box that I've got for all this stuff I've got for free at a yard sale pickup. So somebody needs some Assured mouthwash. So this is all free random stuff. This unit right here I picked up, it's got to have the belts replaced. The tape deck doesn't work right. It does power on. This is actually a really expensive unit. If I can get it to work, I'll show you. If you ever see this, Pioneer CTF 900. That's about a $450 unit. But I gotta get the belts replaced. This thing, Scientific Explorer. What do we got? Netgear Nano. And this puzzle that was random. There's some random puzzles there I need to get listed. New Wave oven, but the shell's cracked. I was gonna part it out via Commonwealth picker. When in doubt, part it out. Coleman stove. I'm probably gonna list that on Facebook Marketplace. Some random cassettes. This is a Emerson cassette VHS. I actually got this for $1 recently, 75% off. It was $4. And then here there's like random RC helicopters. Here we have some train set stuff. There's 2 boxes of those things, and then some track that goes with it. This is like a cheaper model camera, not super expensive. It looks like that's a PSP movie, Boondock. And some older units. I've tried to retro break this thing, but look at it. I've got to do some more to that to get it smoothed out a little bit. She's kind of streaky right now, but as you can see, the bottom versus the top is kind of off. Retro bright is not as easy as advertised. So if you're doing that, this Simply Green, I actually just got this from Kmart. This is like concentrated cleaner. Got that whole gallon for $1. This rig is an old Sears hair dryer. So I got that from thrift store a while back. In here is the old original Magic Bullet. It is new in the box. I just got that. What is this rig? External hard drive, I believe. DVD writer. So this is just random electronics. Sold 2600 in here. Some random controllers. Some Sega games. So all of that. This whole box I actually just got from Kmart. Kmart's going out of business. They had all their fixtures on sale. Most of these are sold like urinal fixtures. So they're actually kind of expensive. There's some backup batteries and stuff in there. All that just came in. This whole box is vintage Jordache jeans. They're from the 80s. This style number 1467. There's actually 3 different style numbers. There's 16 pair in there. And then some random corduroys. I've got pictures of those things, but I haven't listed them yet. I was weighing my options on where to list them. And then Sometimes I just can't help myself. This whole bag was $5 of patterns. I don't really do much with that, but it is what it is. Old cowboy hat in there. Needs a little TLC, American Hat Company. This thing right here is kind of interesting. There's some more random video games. Bocce balls, they're steel. They need to be dropped in some rust. They're actually made in, well, I guess you don't want to see my arm, made in France. So that's what that is. This is a return that came back of a camera so it wouldn't, the sound wouldn't record properly. It's handy cam type situation. This here, Classique, collector's edition, romantic interlude Barbie. I got this for free actually, so I need to get that thing listed up. Some Puma shoes, Cameroon. Cameroon actually had switched to a different shoe company, so these have embroidery signature. They're actually supposed to be somewhat valuable. I don't know. And then this Toda stuff, I'll get it open, is random action figure stuff. Done pretty good with action figures over the years. Some random Xbox Connects, a dongle for a Rock Band, PS3 controller, some Wii stuff, and this guy, Care Bear. So got all that stuff, and now, not done yet. Got a little bit more. This stuff I got all from an estate sale. I actually have a guy come in today to look at this stuff to see if he wants it. Hopefully he'll take all my clothing is the plan. I've got all this, these hats, and all of this stuff. This is actually pretty cool. I was going to list this myself, but I may just sell it to him. I really am not a fan of listing clothing. This is a Canadian tracksuit here. So the top of it. Most of this winter stuff, but this is all older things that came from this guy's estate sale. I actually really like this one. It's got the Sherpa, I think is what they call that, inside, and it's kind of a retro looking sweater. But at any rate, that's what I got. Oh, these things I'm going to donate, I think. A bunch of stamps. I've had those things for a while. So that's what I have as far as death pile. A lot of work. Some printers to get rid of as well. All right, guys. So that is my death pile. It's a lot. It's a lot. Kind of overwhelming when you look at all of it. I've been battling with trying to get all this stuff out of our dining room for a little while. So my wife has said she's had enough. She's ready for it to go. So for me, I'm sure most of y'all, maybe you aren't in quite the state I am as far as that. I don't have a storage unit or anything. Initially, when I got into this, it's pretty much part-time. So I've tried to isolate it to those 2 rooms. So that back bedroom, I've got to get a little bit more organized. We'll be bringing some shelving in from my antique booth. So to help organize some more of that, that clothing, I just said, you know, I'm just going to get rid of it. Cause like I said, I don't enjoy listing too much of it. I do shoes and hats. The rest of the clothing, I've got a few items, but that's really not my forte. So I'm going to let those guys, if they can come in and take that stuff, that'd be awesome. I'm probably going to give them a good deal. They're resellers as well. I see them all the time. And in fact, he watches my videos, so shout out to Daniel and his wife. If you guys, if they ever get on YouTube or whatever, I will promote those guys. They're here locally as well, young couple with a little baby. So I do thank you guys for watching. And if you want to be a part of this challenge and put to death your death pile, then feel free to tag me. I'm actually going to put it on my Instagram, put to death the death pile on a hashtag. So we will see if we can get some more footage each and every day of what's sold, what we've listed off the death pile, and what's sold off the death pile, and just keep a running tally of that. honestly, to keep myself encouraged, and then hopefully to encourage other people to do the same. So I do thank you guys for watching. If you are a reseller, good luck, man, with all that's going on. Continue to list, try to keep your head up. We'll get through this. America, we've always came through strong, and we may come out of this a little stronger than what we were going in. I know it can be a struggle, and I'm sure that there are those that are really struggling, and I do encourage you, man, to keep looking forward and keep your head up. And we thank you for watching. You guys have a great day.